Welcome to my December 2023 Plan With Me. I love doing Plan With Me videos. I especially love doing them now with my index card planner system. So everything is in one place. I don't have to go back and forth with my planner, my calendar, that type of thing. I still do use an appointment book with Google Calendar, but the majority of all my actions are in this one card deck. So I'm going to go through it with you. We're going to go through the Google Calendar. We're going to go ahead and go through some of my goal plans, all the fun things in this video. I'm doing it a little different as far as my Plan With Me, where I'm usually more methodical and showing you my method, that type of thing. And in this one, it's more of I just want to sit down and chat with you. I'm showing you on the video what it looks like, and we'll kind of talk about December plans. Here you see me printing out a couple things. So I'm printing out blank dot grids, which I'm going to get to later on in another video. I'm also printing out a timeline that I will use for time blocking. To get started with, I'm going to use cards that I already have set up. The first one is going over holidays or important dates, birthdays, kids' school things. Whatever it is that's coming up in the next month, I'm making sure that they're in my calendar. And for this case, I'm focusing specifically on the holiday calendar. So I've hid all the other calendars and I'm looking at only the pink one, which is the cute holidays. I usually have a list that I go from, and I just decided to start from scratch and go through all the holidays to see if there's any cute, new, creative ones out there to add to my calendar. I was going to add Antarctica Day, and actually I think I did add it to my Google Calendar, but I didn't end up adding it to my card when I list out the holidays on the monthly card. I like the idea of Antarctica Day because it has penguins, and my youngest son really likes penguins, so it was just kind of a fun idea. And I might still play with it. I don't really know. When you homeschool, you pull all these different holidays out and look for resources and live events and everything, create cute units, pull books from the library around that one subject. So I'm definitely still in the habit of finding those holidays. I love going through the holidays too, especially when we're looking at Christmas time type holidays, because and Thanksgiving does this too, so does Halloween, where they incorporate actions you have to take, or you don't have to, but are part of the celebrations and the traditions. So for example, one of the holidays that I'm going to pull up is National Christmas Card Day, something like that. And it's basically gathering all of your supplies to send out. Now, the United States Postal Service has a table out there that shows you when it is that you have to send an item in order to get it certain places. So checking up on that and looking at what your deadline is, because we're on an island right now, our send out, I'm just trying not to use it at all. They're having some issues with the Postal Service. You might be experiencing something similar, where Amazon has recently moved over to the United States Postal Service rather than using UPS or third-party services. It's caused a little bit of chaos here on the island. Not a big deal, but it's still interesting to see. I like this Trick Shot Day holiday. The kids are playing basketball right now, so anything that incorporates their interests is something that I want to at least mention to them. We don't have to do any crazy kind of celebration. It's just like my daily date dividers, where I'm going through these memories with them. We don't always celebrate it or do an activity with it. It's just nice to know, and it creates a topic for conversation. So I'm adding all of these to Google Calendar. You could just as easily, and what I've done in the past is add them to your Passion Planner or any type of paper planner where you're collecting these holidays. I like going straight to Google Calendar just because it's synced to all my different devices. It's easily updated. My husband receives updates, and then I can also copy and paste items that are from emails, and it just makes everything much more streamlined. You should let me know if you use a digital planner or a digital calendar in some way. I know a lot of people that subscribe to my channel or comment. I can definitely relate to them in that we're all trying to get away from our phones, and this is just one area that I'm not quite ready to give up, and I do find highly beneficial. St. Nicholas Day is another day that I just love celebrating. I love celebrating any of the saints' days or just recognizing them. Going through the stories with the kids. Lucia, is that the one that's in Sweden? There's a few other ones that I usually put in December, but this is the one that I've added for St. Nicholas. So all of this preparation, whether it's noting holidays or figuring out which cute activities you're doing, researching community events, it's all in preparation to make sure that you're able to celebrate the holiday to its fullest. You're able to incorporate fun traditions that will serve you in the future. Hopefully the kids will remember them. If not, you definitely will. During the holidays, I want to feel joy. I want to feel happy. I want to feel excited. And I definitely want my family to feel the same way. I want to feel connected. I want to feel relaxed in the sense that I'm able to just sit back and chat with my family. I'm able to create and attend events that are more community driven. So all of this work ahead of time just makes sure that I actually get to experience those feelings, and then I don't end the seasons thinking, oh, that went by really fast. I didn't get to what I wanted to get to. Now that we finished the computer work and did the Google Calendar, adding down holidays, events, and I was only looking at holidays in this recorded video, but I'm also going through emails, I'm going through text messages, I'm connecting with people too to see when we want to plan certain things. So it's a little bit more robust than that, just what I showed you. And to make this simpler, what I'm doing is removing November, and I'm going to start going over my monthly review. My monthly review is something that I've done. I started to do it with the Passion Planner. It's an exercise that they have you go through to review the past weekly pages or the spreads. And you can see things that you got done each week. You also know what you were grateful for or exciting things that happen. And then you review that. Last month was the first month that I added the actual what I wrote down onto the divider. In the past, I was using since June when my Passion Planner ended, I was using just the same notebooks that I would write my morning pages in. And that was fine. But the problem is it's separate from the card deck and it's hard to reference it. So again, the idea of putting everything into the single card deck is to simplify, and having it on that card divider is much easier. I used to put holidays on it. I've tracked things. This has just worked out really well for me. It's very efficient. It's funny too how you do these monthly reviews. You think, what did we do in the month of November? Like, without actually taking the time to sit down and review it, you just kind of forget. But when I was looking back on the daily date dividers, it's incredible how much you accomplish in the month. And it's all those small things too that you don't really, you wouldn't remember at the end of the year when you do, an annual review, or let's say you don't do any type of review and you're just chatting with your family years down the road. You're not going to remember that one time your husband surprised you by making dinner when you were at the gym. So I really appreciate the ability to stop and reflect back on the last 30 days and see what happened and what you want to take away, what you want to change, things that you're grateful for. It's nice, and it doesn't take very long either. I really loved Thanksgiving this year. It was really nice to be able to sit around the table with my husband's brothers and his mom, and my parents even got to come and hear them chat and listen to the conversation. I also got to do a few things by myself with my husband, or I should say by ourselves. We did sauna at lunch during his lunch hour once, and that was really nice. And I don't know about you, but our family, we're big Marvel fans. So the finale of Loki last month is so memorable. It's so funny because the first season of Loki is so memorable too. I can remember where I was sitting, where we were watching it, what we were eating during that finale episode. And I know that we'll remember the last one. It's just such a quality program. They do such a good job. And so that was one of the things that I wrote down as one of my favorite things of November. For the lessons learned, I don't know how long this is going to take me to learn this lesson, but in order for me to go to bed early, I need to get all my things done early. It seems like common sense, but it's not. For whatever reason, I can't wrap my head around the fact that it's I've seen this meme about mom math where you have to be somewhere, then you subtract the time for this, subtract the time for that. And I just do this just don't do a good job doing this. So I am still trying to work on getting to bed at 9 o'clock in my bed and reading. And so you'll see later, I do some time blocking around that because there is this realization that I need to make time for the things that I want to do. And a big chunk of that is not wasting those hours in the evening where you just kind of zombify and watch shows, or you just go down Instagram It's just not necessary. So I note different lessons that I want to make sure that I take away from the month of November as I'm moving into December. And it would be so awesome. I'm really looking forward to this in 2024 when I'm able to look back at the last 12 months on all the monthly dividers and see that takeaways or the lessons learned, things that I want to improve on, all there. Just like I did in the Passion Planner, you could see that improvement and the changes that you made, or maybe things that you still aren't changing. Super helpful. Now, when it comes to the priorities question, this was one that was in Passion Planners about, were you making time for your priorities? I think this is such an important conversation to have with yourself, with your children, your husband. The idea of saying, these are the values that I have, these are the goals, and this is where I want to spend my time versus the reality of all of it, where your time is actually going to. And so I like this question. I am going to try and focus more so on getting some movement in. Whereas in November, I did focus more on writing. I focused more on video editing and the products and Etsy. And I did such a good job. I'm very proud of myself because I really did stay super duper focused. Everything took so much longer than I thought it would. And I didn't really get to do any kind of movement outside of like here and there a couple times a week at the gym. And it really eats away at your mental health when you're not moving your body, and of course your physical health. So I'm going to get out and try to walk more. Not only that, but there's also this feeling that when I'm making videos or when I'm writing, I have all of these ideas and I like being able to walk them out. I think Julia Cameron talks about this in The Artist's Way, or maybe walking. She has a book about walking too, where you go for a walk and you figure it out. Answers come to you. You're able to connect the dots. There's something about getting that movement in while thinking that really helps. I want to make sure that I prioritize that in the next month. Now, on the back of the index card, or this monthly divider, I should say, I'm going to do my gratitude exercise. Last month, I created a simple list, and this month, I wanted to make more of a mind map where I'm focusing on one subject and writing things that I'm grateful for. This is both in an affirmative statement that is in progress and also something that I have seen or I've achieved, where my channel is growing and I'm super duper grateful. And I know that my channel is continuing to grow in the next month as well. I'm so grateful to all of you who've joined the channel recently, especially since I've been focusing more on the index card planner system. When I was doing YouTube, I didn't really have a plan. I just talked about everything that I really loved. And when I decided I wanted to get better at being a YouTuber, I tried to focus in on one thing. And in doing so, I went through all the things that have improved my life. And the number one thing that has improved my life is this index card deck and being able to focus and to plan and to have everything simplified for me. So I'm beyond grateful that other people are also interested in the system, that care what it looks like when I do it, because I know there's countless other people that do this as well. But I'm really happy to have you here. I love seeing comments. I love getting to chat with people over email and through Etsy messages. It's super fun, and like I said, I'm so grateful. YouTube has always been that incredible community place where I'm able to meet people with amazing stories, and I learn a lot too. So now that we reviewed November, I'm going to go ahead and go into looking at December. That's my December monthly card. Since I've reviewed the past month in November and gone over the important dates, what I'm doing is filing those two cards over in front of the 27th date divider, which is on a Wednesday. So that will be December 27th the next time I come up on those activities. To top it all off, I'm transferring my list of holidays from the Google Calendar into just a simple list on the monthly card that I use for reference daily. And because it's the holidays, I'm adding a little bit of decoration using the highlighters. The last day highlighted piece over there by the 9th is in reference to the 12-week year. I'm finishing up my 12th week on December 9th. I'm currently on week 11, so I'm in like the last 2 weeks of becoming a better YouTuber, and it's been an awesome journey, and I'll talk a little bit more about it at the end of this video. But for right now, I'm writing down those holidays. That's over on the right-hand side. There's a dot grid on my card, which makes it just a little bit easier as far as like making things lined up, but it's not too stringent as far as you can only write on these lines. That's why I prefer the dot grid. Because obviously I get a little messy in my handwriting. Now the month has been laid out and I'm moving into the card deck. This is where that feeling of peace really gets fulfilled, because by maintaining a tidy home, you are giving yourself and your family a sense of calm, not seeing a bunch of clutter or mess. And when people come over, you're not just running all over the house trying to clean things up. You're on a schedule of just maintenance, and it's really nice. Now, before we get into like the maintenance cards, I wanted to show you the more annual, once a year look. I tried to get these cards done when we were on the mainland, so those are ones I have not gotten to and will have to refile. These cards, I just wanted to quickly show you in case you wanted to add them to your holiday list or your holiday card deck. So this is a list of actions that I've already taken care of on the mainland, but I wanted to show it to you just in case you wanted to add it to your card deck. Each one of those are on an index card, and those are going to be filed in front of the month of November, so that next November I'll know to get to those as well. Or maybe December. Probably November. Now I'm going through just the cards that I have for the day, just to show you where I'm at in the card deck. Now, this is where I am going to pay some extra attention to, because it's more of the goal setting piece of feeling accomplished at the end of the month. I want to make sure that I get to these, but I do have a problem as far as time. I have so many different card ideas. I have 6 videos left. I put one out today. I have this one, so that means I have 4 more videos for my goal, and then I have additionals that I just wanted to do for fun. I'm trying to figure out at the end of the video if I have time for those fun videos. Now I'm showing you these, but in front of the month of December, there's a whole other stack of video ideas. So it'll be fun to see what I end up doing. I worked on it this afternoon, and then I'll do it more tonight. It was nice because I was able to talk it over with my husband as far as my time blocking and my schedule goes, and he just said, good job. That's all that you need to hear sometimes. So I go through my affirmation cards. On the back, you could see just a tally of the YouTube card to make sure that I get those 24 down. I have now my morning. So if you purchase the Etsy Just Get Started product, I have the Savers card, and that one is broken down into 3 actions that I want to take in the morning. Everything I've completed gets put over to the next date divider, so that's in front of the 29th, and I'm going through the rest of the cards that I need to accomplish. Tuesdays are pretty simple as far as the cleaning goes. I do the bathroom, which if you watched my video that went out today, it takes me about 20 minutes to clean the bathroom top to bottom. Now these again are the learning cards for the 12-week year. Also a product card, which I got to today. I'm moving, you'll see in a little bit, I moved the feedback card to another day just to batch it with another card that I thought was relevant. But those are all handwritten because that's me learning as I go and making changes. Whereas these Canva cards, I mean, a lot of them are activities suggested in the Sidetracked Home Executives book on the website. These are things that I've been doing for, this is, I think, my 8th year doing this card deck. So these are all things that I've added, and I feel comfortable reusing them over and over again. For the YouTube piece, I don't even know that I would do some of those cards again, so I don't mind handwriting those. Some of those are just one-time actions. So just going over some of the upcoming week. Now, because I have a big card stack, I don't use a card box. I might in the future, but right now I use a bag, and then I just take them out of the bag and go over them. I'm just separating the storage, the meals, and the contacts because it's not necessarily, and the 12-week year. I'm separating it so I have a smaller card deck to work from. So here you see it's much simpler. Those items are really nice to have in one place. So especially like when we get into holiday cards, I have all of my contacts right there so I can go ahead and fill out the addresses and not have to go and search for them somewhere else. This is my Wednesday. Wednesday's administrative day, so some of those holiday actions I put on a Wednesday, like, for example, the holiday cards. I already went through and updated my contact list, which is another card that I completed. And then I wrote down that list on the back of the card of the cards that I want to get for people. designing and purchasing the cards. I'm not going to be designing any cards this year. I'm going to be purchasing them locally. The kids and I started a couple years ago handwriting our cards to close family and friends, and we're going to continue in that tradition. So these are all weekly cards that you can add to your card deck. When they're completed, they then get put in front of the next Wednesday. If I don't get to them, you can play a game with yourself. Sidetracked Home Executive suggests the third time you're out type of a game, and so you have to do it no matter what. One of the things that I started doing just a couple months ago was creating a fun ahead week. I don't do this every week, but when we were doing our Dono's Just Want to Have Fun project back in the spring, we were getting a new engine in and it was super stressful. We were doing something fun, a fun activity every day. And it was nice to be able to plan ahead for them and know what's coming up. And so I incorporated something like that. And this has been really helpful for the holidays because even though I have it in the card deck, sometimes I might even have an appointment or tickets, there's something about writing it down and then being reminded of it every day that is calming. I have a space on the right-hand side where I can take notes. I have my theme for this video and for other videos. My theme for December is Elf. The movie Elf is turning 20. I know, right? 20 years old. That's crazy. Like, how old is Will Ferrell right now? I thought he looked old back then. And he definitely doesn't look old enough to have recorded it 20 years ago, so I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to do doodles with the theme of Elf, and I'll get those done probably this weekend with my son, and we'll do a fun art project and watch a movie when we do it. I'm really excited. But if you look up Elf movie and party or movie night, there's all sorts of fun ideas for it online. Family council night is coming up. That's really fun, and I'm just checking to see if that's a day that we can still do it as a family. My artist date is supposed to be on Thursday. Maybe creating a Christmas playlist will be my fun artist date because I can't think of anything to do. But sitting down and going through old Christmas music or even new Christmas music might be kind of a fun thing to explore. We use YouTube Music. I don't know if you have this, but if you have YouTube Premium, you get YouTube Music for free. It's not free. It's incorporated with the price, but it works well for us. We've used it for quite some time now, and I like it. There's only 30 days in November too, so all of that is going to get pushed over. I'm just going to cut out the video for some appointment cards that we got to in November. That's going to get transferred over to once it's shuffled behind October, so November 2024 we'll know that we need to do those appointments again. So now I just pulled those cards that were in front of the December. I could have gone, so each Wednesday I'll look to see what cards to include or what to move. As the first finishes, it gets shuffled behind the 31st, and any cards that go on the first can be moved as far as like monthly cards or one-off cards. But I just didn't do that this time so that I could do this video where I'm showing you everything all at once. So here's where you see my stack of videos. I just wanted to play one more big push trying to try different things out before the year ends. And like I said, I'm not sure how realistic that is. I'm still looking into it, but I have that big stack of cards. So now I'm going through and I'm just going to show you what December looks like coming up. And this is without touching it yet, without shuffling any of the cards. I have my Fun Week Ahead review cards placed on Saturdays or in front of the date dividers for Saturdays, and that is something that was already set up with the holiday planner that I did, which was another video, but it was before the 16th, and so any of the date dividers that were still in front of November, I wasn't able to place those fun cards in front of, so now I'm just doing that. And those are just hanging out in front of the December date divider, and like I said, as dates get shuffled, I would have, on Wednesdays, moved those monthly and one-off over, or checked them at least. Oh, I'm so excited to do this annual review. And this is really where you feel accomplished and excited for the next year. And in my case, I think it was last year, I definitely didn't feel accomplished. But if you're feeling that way, just know that you can turn it around. It's not a big deal. Just say what you gotta say in the review and don't beat yourself up. And just get going. At least that's the pep talk I gave myself at the beginning of the year. And then I waited until June to actually get serious about it. So writing a family newsletter, I do this with a video. I used to do this with a video. I don't think I've done it in or I didn't do it last year. Again, it was weird. Doing a night before Christmas box, I've never actually gotten to. And I'm really excited because I have had an idea for it for years and never actually done it. And so now that it's in a card and filed in my card deck and not in a Trello board hidden away, let's see if I do it. Preparing your camera, there's all sorts of fun little activities that are just helpful so that when you get to that time that you don't realize that your camera's full, that, it's dirty or whatever it is. So I shuffled that earlier. If I'm going to be doing a lot of videos, I want to make sure I have a lot of space on my phone, which I use as my camera right now. I'll prepare a GoPro, ask my son how to use it, all that fun stuff. Now here's a tradition that I love, and I want to know what your wrapping gifts tradition is because I'm not good at wrapping gifts. Mine are so messy. We were zero waste for a while too, and so the kids were so sick of paper bag wrappings because they're kind of like tough to open too and it was such a pain to wrap because there were heavy materials and lots of tape. So I would play the movie The Holiday and The Family Stone and sit in my room by myself and wrap, and I'd cry and I'd laugh, and I loved it so much. And it's going to be interesting to do that on the boat because even last year we were on land when I was wrapping. I was able to still do that. Now, specialty food items can be things like going to the farmer's market. We have a couple of cute community events where they're selling baked goods and more like packaged ingredients. And so I'm excited for that. Making gifts. If you have children and they have bake sales coming up, parties, gifts for teachers, I have a feeling I'm going to be shuffling that card from week to week as little reminders for myself. My first thing that I'm going to make is just straight up chocolate chip cookies because it was last minute and I can't think of anything else to make as far as baked goods. I did get a recipe that I'll have to do again that is for like a gingerbread cookie that I'm excited about too. Cash for tips is another activity. We only have like one guy that we're going to be getting the extra Christmas tip for this year, but making sure that you're prepared for that, thinking about people that are on that list. I'm interested to know what activities, what things you're preparing for, what traditions that you have around Christmas and the holidays. These are holiday meal plans, so it's one single day and writing out all the things that you have that you've purchased for, pulled recipes for. Because I don't know about you, but I get done at the end of the night and like 9 times out of 10, I'm washing the dishes, putting things away in the fridge, and I realize that I didn't make one of the things that I bought. And I get so sad because I'm so excited about all the food that I have prepared and then I don't do it. So having a list of those items just to remind you is nice. I really do love writing letters. So if you want me to write you a letter, will you please let me know? You can message me your address. I have a few people that I've met on Instagram that I send holiday cards to, and it's so fun. So writing thank you letters, anything that's physical is just nice. And it's so nice to receive too. Holiday gift shopping. Shopping local is mainly where I'm putting that one. There's an event here that you're able to go and shop around town. We have overnight guests coming. I'm super excited about that. So I'm making arrangements for that. Putting away the decor was a card that I already used on Sunday when we returned. I put away all of the fall decor. And I have all of our Christmas stuff staged. I shouldn't say all of it. Like it's a lot of stuff. We're on a boat. So it's like normal amount for a boat, I should say. And it's sitting there ready to be placed. And I was going to wait until the 3rd. But I'm guessing I'm going to do that earlier. So now my December's planned. Isn't that nice? I know all the activities I have to do. I have them all placed. You can do it with a Google Calendar, Passion Planner, whatever it is that you want to do. I use this card deck. But having all the actions, all the activities, all the cute stuff that brings merriment and joy, all the tidying activities that bring you peace in your home, they all have a day that they're expected to be done and a system for if you get to it or you don't, and a flow of when's best to do it. It just feels good. So these are the items that I wanted to do in the mainland, and I'm going to need to tackle still because, let's face it, Pacific Northwest winters can be tough, and I want to make sure we're prepared. So what I did was I set aside, I know my husband's going to be so excited, and my kids. But on Saturday, we're going to just make that an emergency preparedness day and make sure that we get all those items all taken care of. I am a little sad that we're paying island prices for those things, but it's nice to support local businesses. And it'll be good to get out and see all the people. So now we're getting into the 12-week year, the goals, the feeling accomplished aspect of this video. I'm looking at the ones that I wanted to make sure that I did as far as this project goes, the becoming a better YouTuber piece. So I pulled those planner cards and I'm trying to arrange those. And it takes me a minute to figure out that I need to work backwards. I need to figure out when it is that I want the video to be up, then determine the date that it needs to be uploaded. That's really important because I tried to upload the last video for a day and a half. And it got up finally at 10 o'clock last night, and it was in this like processing thing where it said it was up, but it said processing will begin shortly. And that's usually when it goes to the SD version, and then it'll upload to the HD version, and that takes about an hour usually, and it just never started it. So I went to bed thinking, oh, it'll happen sometime overnight, and it never did. So I had to delete that video and re-upload. That's not a big deal, but it would just be nice. I know things like that happen, so it would be nice to plan ahead and give myself a day. Not that I think anyone's sitting around waiting for Jen's videos to come out, but it's just nice as far as being consistent and fulfilling a commitment that I have to myself, that I realize I need that buffer day. So working backwards, doing mom math, figuring out when something's due, and going backwards. So here I start to write down those notes on the card, and I think, oh, I'll just work backwards based off of, ideally, I'd like to have this video up this date, so it needs to be uploaded this date, it needs to be edited this date, it needs to be done filming this date, and then I realize none of that matters, because do I even have enough time to edit and do holiday things and work on my products and have a video up? So I went back into the time blocking and started to focus on my ideal days and blocking out time and seeing how much time ideally, and I shouldn't say ideally, I should say realistically, because that's really what I was doing, is figuring out the actual hours in a day that I'm able to dedicate to these things. Because what ended up happening in November for me was my number one thing that I want to do is write a book. And I'm letting this smaller ambition, still something I want to do, take over that time. So I would wake up early and edit videos because I was trying to find that extra time because I was creating new products. You know the drill, where you're just like, you underestimate how long things will take. And I definitely overestimated how much time I thought I had during the day. So again, just breaking it down really gives you, sounds silly, but it's an eye-opener. I'll put this printable below as a download link, and you can use it. It's free if you want to. Otherwise, I time block using Google Calendar, or you can put it in your Passion Planner or whatever planner you use. Setting aside a couple blank pages and doing like ideal days is nice. I also have a spreadsheet that I've used in the past for homeschooling for more like detailed time blocks. But I started with my bedtime because one of the lessons I wanted to take away, one of the things that I need to learn to do better, is to go to bed on time. So I started there, I blocked off the time, and then you work backwards and you realize what time you have to go to bed at. And then you realize how early you have to have things done. So I continued to do this after I stopped recording, but basically I did this for every action that I take, every category. So there's cleaning, there's work, and these are buckets. They're not specific activities. They're things that these cards would be. If it was a ballot box, my cards would be, put into the slot for those times. And that way I'm not making a to-do list, I'm just creating buckets of time that says this is when you're going to focus on these types of activities. And this, of course, is going to change day to day, but I like doing this where it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because each day is different for me. Now, I didn't want to leave you without touching on the 12-week year, showing you quickly week 1 through week 10. So like I said, I'm on week 11 now. These are in the back of my card deck. They're the planner cards, and I'm keeping all the activities, all the actions that I accomplished in front of the weekly divider. The weekly divider serves as my scorecard, which just lets me know how well I did. It's going to be really interesting to compare all the actions, all the activities I did versus the actual data. Did I gain subscribers? Did I improve my click-through rate? That type of thing at the end of the 12 weeks. But most importantly, I do want to see those actions that I took, how long things took me, what the results were of completing the activity. It's all going to be interesting, and I'll make a video about it, so make sure that you're subscribed to this channel. I feel weird asking for this subscribe at the very end because as I'm looking at this right now without editing, is 45 minutes. So if you're still listening, will you please let me know in the comments? I'm so grateful if you're still here listening to me blabber, because I listen to other YouTubers like this, and it's an honor to have your attention. To wrap things up, I'm just going through the card deck now, checking out what I've added. I'm getting rid of this. I don't want to do any lone shorts anymore. It takes just as long as making a full-length video. I'd rather just focus on the full lengths and doing smaller concept shorts. This is week 12, and there's some learning cards that I'm really excited for, reflecting on my long-term goals, looking at trends for 2024, and getting clear on the goals for the next year when it comes to YouTube, and also for my next 12-week year. I want to do 3 runs of the 12-week year in 2024. So my first one starts about mid-January, and I'm really excited to set that one up. That's another one that I want to do with you on YouTube, and it's more of a health-oriented goal. So I'm going to still be, of course, making videos, and I'll use a card deck for organizing my videos, but it's going to be, as far as growth goes, focused around health. I hope everyone is having an excellent holiday season, one that is joyful, like I said earlier, one that brings you peace with your tidy, decluttered home, and one where you feel like you've achieved amazing things, whether it's putting together a night before Christmas box, or it is growing your YouTube channel, or probably even something better. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to chatting with you in the comments.